Hello everybody, Abdullah Suwehi here. Welcome to the second video about the coronavirus challenge CORD-19 hosted on Kaggle. In this video I'd like to do a gentle introduction to Kaggle website and the dataset provided for the challenge. So let's hop in. So here you can see the homepage kaggle.com, assuming you have an account there. You will find the homepage is like pretty much like Facebook, where you have news feed of submissions that has been done by other members in the community so that you can comment, upvote, interact. And on the left here, you'd find other interesting options. So compete will go to that later, but the data for public data sets are available, notebooks. So actually each submission is done on a notebook. So it's an interactive web application where you can write your Python code, and actually you can also attach some visualization images and other things, discussions. And actually here there are some mini courses that you can have a look at, like in Python or machine learning. If you click on more here, you will find actually that you can browse jobs, and the user rankings is pretty interesting because all contributors are ranked from novices up to grandmasters, and there are only 180 grandmasters. So it's pretty interesting to see if you can get there one day. Anyways, back to the main focus of today's video, the competitions. So if you click on compete, you will find a list of all competitions hosted on Kaggle to the moment. And because COVID-19 is the hottest topic, you will find it pinned right here. But I'd like to shed light quickly on the Titanic competition. So this is a competition proposed by Kaggle just to get you started. If you want to be familiar with Kaggle or machine learning, want to submit a solution on a pretty interesting problem, here it is. So the Titanic is pretty interesting because it contains actual data about the people who were on board of the Titanic, and then your task is to try to predict who survived and who did not based on information about these people. So I'd really encourage you to have a look at this competition, and I'll be leaving a link to a video where actually a Kaggle member explains this competition. So now back to the COVID-19. If you click on Get Started, you will find all competitions related to the coronavirus. The first one here is the one of our interest, so the CORD-19, but you can find others too if you'd like to have a look at it. So if I click on Get Started, I will be redirected to the page where the description of the competition is there, the data set, other solutions that has been submitted by other members. So you can have a look at all of this. And then you will find here on the right the new notebook. So if you want to start writing your solution, you have to click on that. I already did that, so I have my notebook here. So here you can find that it's a pretty simple code. I did not put much into it, but it's like, Python here where you can write and then you can run your code. But the focus of this video is to just look at the data set. So you go to the right and you find here add data. So here you will find all the data sets on Kaggle, and then you can add whatever data you'd like to have. But so the one that is related to CORD-19 is this one. So I just click add, and then it's added to my input directory here. So here, if I open and see the directories inside, so here actually each folder has many research papers. So depending on their sources. But I'd like to start with the metadata, so data about data. So the README file here tells you what do you expect. So the papers are coming from which resources, CZI, PMC, etc. Tell you how many records in each, the number of papers, information, what does key in the metadata mean. So DOI, for example, is the digital ID. So and actually also you can find the changes or the updates that has been done to the dataset. So going to the metadata itself, if you click on it, you will find that they present you, like, let's say, a preview of what you find here. It's actually a CSV, so a comma separated values files, and it actually has 18 columns, but by default they show you the first 7. So here, the first one is the CORD UID. So it's an identifier given to each research paper, and it's unique. So here, and this is the hash of the PDF, and then this is the source of the research paper, PMC or others, and then the title of the research paper. So the first paper here is sequence requirements for RNA, etc., etc. If you want to show more columns, you click on this button here, and then you can add other columns that you're interested in. Here, I'd like to show you the URL. So if you click apply, it should be added to the end, or actually you can see the URL of the research paper, and if you go, you click on it, or you open a new tab with this, you will find the PDF. So this is just to show you an example. So this is actually an actual paper that has been published on the coronavirus, or related at least to the coronavirus. So another interesting button here is the details button, where it shows you actually information about each of the column. So how many unique values. So for example, here the source, how many papers were from PMC, how many papers were from Elsevier, etc. So this is about the metadata. So now, what does each file has? So actually, each file is presented in a JSON format. So here there's the JSON schema.txt. So actually, it shows you how each research paper is saved in the JSON format. So you can see here, you can think of it as a dictionary of a series of keys and related values. So for example, here you will find first the paper ID, and then the value of this is a string. And then you have the metadata of the paper itself. Okay, so this is a dictionary, and inside this dictionary you have the title, authors, which is a list of the authors containing the first name, middle name, etc. The abstract, so now we're talking about the content of the paper. So the abstract is a list of paragraphs. So each item of the list has some text, the citation that has been done, the references to figures maybe or equations in the paper, etc. And then there is the body, which is also again a list of paragraphs. So you go on to reach the bib entries, so the references, and the ref entries. So this is the figures, tables, etc. in the table. So this is to give you an idea about the content of each file represented in the JSON format. So now let's go into any of the sources and open one of the PDF JSON files. So if I click here, it will be opened in this new tab, and then you will actually see the JSON format of this paper. So you can see that this paper had this ID, and this is its title, protective population behavior change, and then you will find information about authors, and then here you will find the abstract. Sometimes the paper does not have an abstract, so it's an empty list. The body text, now you will have the list of paragraphs. So the text, this is the first paragraph, second paragraph, etc. So I hope this video gave you a good idea about the dataset, and in the next one I'm going to be showing you how to traverse this dataset in code, and it will be the actual first step in building the machine learning model. So thank you for your time, and see you in the next one.